If you are thinking about buying a home in Santa Clarita, but every time you look at the prices you think, there is no way I can afford this, I want you to stay with me for the next 10 minutes because I'm going to show you the real numbers. Not an estimate, not a calculator you fill out online. The actual breakdown of what it takes to buy a home here right now. And for a lot of people, the number is more reachable than they think. And if by the end of this video you still have questions about your specific situation, my contact is in the description. That's literally what I'm here for. I'm Lucky De Leon. I'm a real estate advisor with Keller Williams VIP Properties here in Santa Clarita. I built this channel because I believe buying a home should feel empowering, not overwhelming. So let's get into it. What homes actually cost in Santa Clarita right now? First, let's talk about what you are actually looking at in this market. And I want to give you real numbers. This is straight from the April 2026 market snapshot published by the Southland Regional Association of Realtors. The median sale price for all residential properties in Santa Clarita right now it's $810,000. That's the middle of the market. Half of homes sold for more, half sold for less. Now, before you close this video, hear me out. Because that number doesn't mean you need $810,000 in the bank, not even close. Here is what makes this more interesting. That $810,000 median covers everything. But when you break it down by property type, you get a clearer picture of your options. Single-family homes, detached houses, have a median of $870,000. That's your more traditional home purchase. But condos and townhomes, the median is $581,000. That's nearly $290,000 less. For a lot of first-time buyers, a condo or a townhome is a real and smart entry point into Santa Clarita home ownership. What it means is that your down payment and your monthly mortgage payment are what we need to focus on. And those numbers are very different from the purchase price. Here is what the Santa Clarita market looks like in terms of what you get at different price points. Under $581,000, you are in condo and townhome territory. Real home ownership with a lower entry point than most people expect. $600,000 to $750,000, this is your single family starter home range. Valencia, Canyon Country, parts of New Home. $750,000 to $900,000, more space, better neighborhoods. Stevenson Ranch, parts of Saugus. Over $900,000, you are getting into larger homes, newer construction, premium locations. So, depending on your goals, there may be more options than you think. And here is something encouraging. There are currently 812 active listings in Santa Clarita right now. That means you have real choices. You are not walking into a frenzy. You are walking into a real market where prepared buyers can win. Let's talk about what it actually takes to get there. The rule lenders use. There is a rule that mortgage lenders use called the 2836 rule. Let me break it down simply. Lenders generally want your total housing payment, that's your mortgage, property taxes, and insurance combined, to be no more than 28% of your gross monthly income. That's before taxes. And your total debt, so your housing payment plus any car payments, student loans, credit cards, should be no more than 36% of your gross monthly income. Now, these aren't hard laws. Some loan programs allow higher ratios, but this is your baseline starting point. So the question becomes, what income do you need to comfortably buy in Santa Clarita right now? Two real examples, $95,000 single income and $130,000 household. Let me show you two real scenarios because everyone's situation is different. First, if you're buying on your own with a $95,000 income, and second, if you and your partner are combining incomes at around $130,000, which is honestly one of the most common situations I see with buyers. Example 1, $95,000 single income. $95,000 a year, it's about $7,900 a month before taxes. Using the 28% rule, your maximum housing payment could be around $2,217 a month. Now, at today's rates, let's say you are targeting a condo or townhome at $580,000. The April 2026 median for condos in Santa Clarita, putting 5% down, that's a down payment of $29,000. Your loan is around $552,000. At 6.5 to 7% interest, your principal and interest is roughly $3,500 to $3,700 a month. Add property taxes, about $606 a month, and homeowners insurance, about $120 a month, and your total payment is approximately $4,200 to $4,400 a month. That's above the strict 28% guideline. So what does that tell us? It tells us that at $95,000 single income, a condo or townhome is reachable, but you likely want down payment assistance to reduce what you are borrowing or a co-borrower to make your application stronger. Programs like CalHFA, which I'll cover in a moment, exist specifically for this situation. Example 2, $130,000 combined household income. This is two people, maybe a couple, maybe two family members combining salaries. $130,000 a year, it's about $10,800 a month before taxes. Using the 28% rule, your maximum housing payment jumps to around $3,033 a month. Now you are looking at a completely different range. At $130,000 combined, a single family home in the $650,000 to $750,000 range becomes realistic, especially with a solid down payment. Let's say you are targeting $700,000, putting 10% down, loan of $630,000. At today's rate, your principal and interest is roughly $4,000 to $4,200 a month. At taxes, about $730 a month, and insurance, and your total payment it's around $5,000 a month. That's above the strict 28%. But remember, these are guidelines, not hard cutoffs. With low existing debt and good credit, many lenders will approve up to 43% debt-to-income ratio. A combined $130,000 household with low debt is a very strong application. Here is the important thing I want both of these examples to show you. Whether you are buying solo or with a partner, the path exists. It just looks different for each person, which is why the most important first step is always talking to a lender, getting pre-approved and knowing your actual numbers, not a generic calculator's guess. And here is something that should encourage you. The April 2026 data shows 228 homes closed in Santa Clarita last month alone. People are buying. The market is moving. The question is just whether you are positioned to be one of them. Down payment options, conventional, FHA, and CalHFA. Now let's talk about how to actually get into the home. Because one of the biggest myths in real estate is that you need 20% down. You don't. Here are your three main options in California right now. Option 1, conventional loan. This is a standard loan not backed by the government. You put as little as 3% down with good credit. On a $581,000 condo, 3% is about $17,400. You will pay private mortgage insurance, called PMI, until you reach 20% equity, but it's a real path in. Option 2, FHA loan, backed by the federal government. You can put as little as 3.5% down, and the credit score requirements are lower. FHA is often the go-to for first-time buyers. On a $581,000 home, 3.5% down is about $20,335. Option 3, CalHFA. This is California's own down payment assistance program, and not enough people know about it. CalHFA offers loans and grants, especially to help California first-time buyers cover their down payment and closing costs. Depending on the program, you could get assistance of to 3% to 3.5% of the loan amount, essentially covering your down payment entirely in some cases. If you are a first-time buyer in California and you haven't heard of CalHFA, please look into this. It could be the thing that gets you into a home years earlier than you thought. I'll put a link in the description to the CalHFA website so you can check current programs and income limits for your situation. Hidden costs buyers forget. Okay, I have to be real with you about something because I see buyers get surprised by this all the time. The mortgage payment is not your only cost. Here is what you also need to budget for when buying in Santa Clarita. Closing costs. In California, closing costs typically run between 2% and 3% of the purchase price. On a $501,000 home, that's roughly $11,600 to $17,400. Some of this can be negotiated for the sellers to cover, but you need to know it exists. Property taxes. In California, property taxes are approximately 1.25% of the purchase price per year. On a $581,000 home, that's roughly $7,250 a year, or about $600 a month added to your payment. Homeowners insurance. Plan for this. The price is going to depend on the home and coverage. HOA fees. Many Santa Clarita communities, especially condos and planned developments, have HOA fees ranging from $200 to $600 a month. Always ask about HOA before you fall in love with a home. This is especially important for condos because it directly affects your total monthly payment. Maintenance. A general rule, budget 1% of your home's value per year for maintenance. On a $581,000 home, that's about $5,810 a year, or roughly $480 a month in savings. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because the buyers who go in knowing these numbers are the ones who feel confident and in control throughout the process. The ones who don't know, they get stressed and sometimes make bad decisions. So back to the original question. How much home can you afford in Santa Clarita right now? The honest answer is it depends on your income, your debt, your credit, and which loan program you qualify for. But what I hope this video showed you is that the path is more accessible than it might look from the outside. The April 2026 data is clear. The median condo price in Santa Clarita is $581,000. The median residential property is $810,000. There are 812 active listings to choose from, and 228 homes closed just last month. The market is real and it's moving. Whether you are buying solo at $95,000 a year or combining incomes with a partner at $130,000 a year, you are not out of the game. You may need down payment assistance. You may need to start with a condo or townhome, but you are not out of the game. And if you want to know your number, your specific affordability based on your actual income and situation, that's a conversation I would genuinely love to have with you. No pressure, no sales pitch, just real numbers and honest guidance. My phone number and email are in the description. I'm Lucky De Leon, I'm bilingual in English and Spanish, and I am your Santa Clarita real estate advisor. I'll see you in the next video.